Okay, hi, this is our first lecture on our video tutorial series on C Sharp. Okay, so first of all, we will open Visual Studio and I will go to File, New Project. And by going over here, we will go to C Sharp and I will select a console application. And you can give it any name over here. Whatever name you like. So as you can see, it also has a location which is describing the directory structure in which this project will be saved. You can change it from browse by clicking on this button. As you can see, it also creates a solution name which is same as the project name. So this create directory for solution is checkbox is checked. That means whenever this project will be created, it will be stored in a proper directory structure. So this is checked by default and it's a good practice. So now we will click the OK button, and right now Visual Studio has created the project. The first file we can see over here is the program.cs. CS is a file extension which represents C Sharp. That means this project is created in C Sharp. So we basically began with the console application is because it does not have a user interface. So the programming concepts and constructs are easily can be tested and ran because it is the basic. So that's why we always, when I was learning a programming language, we start with the console application. So as you can see, Visual Studio has created a certain layout. The using keyword means we are using a namespace. System is a namespace in line number 1. That means let me define namespace. Namespace is basically a collection of classes. Since C Sharp is an object-oriented programming language, we will be dealing with classes. I will explain that further in our next lectures, in which we start the object-oriented programming concepts like inheritance, etc. So inheritance and encapsulation, etc. So now first of all, Visual Studio by default included some namespaces. The first one is the system namespace. It has classes related to the system functionality of the application. The third one, as you can see, is system.link. Link means language integrated query. It is a language developed by Microsoft in which you can communicate and make queries to the database. So similar, the text system.text namespace contains all the methods, properties, variables relating to string manipulation. So now it has created a namespace on our project name. So inside the namespace console application 2, it has a class which this class name is program, and inside this class we have a method, the main method. And whenever we run this application, the main method will be executed first. So inside the body of the main method, we'll call a method called writeLine. So what this method basically does, it writes a line on the screen, and inside the parameter of this method we will pass a string. It says hello world, and in the second line we will also call another method called the read key method. Basically this method will wait for a key to be pressed from the keyboard. Until then it will show the screen. Whenever we press a key from the keyboard, it will let go of the screen. So now we will test this. If you click on the start button or press the hotkey F5, it will Visual Studio will build this project and it will run it. So basically This is very useful, and as you can see on the screen, the hello world is written, and the cursor is blinking below, and it's waiting for a key to be pressed. The read key method comes here. So now I will press a key from the keyboard, and let's see what happens. So I have pressed a key, and the program is gone. So this is what the read key method does. We called, notice I use the method and function, it is the same thing. So the first line is the write line method is inside the console class. Similarly, the read key method is also inside the console class, and the console class is inside the namespace system. So because we're using system on the top, we are able to use the console class, because console class resides in the system namespace. So in the right line we passed a parameter, a string saying hello world, and notice the double quotes inside and the color is brown, so string is always passed inside of double quotes. So on the read key method is parameter less method, it contains no parameter, and in the write line method we passed a parameter whose data type is a string, and it says hello world. So this was our first program, hello world.